the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right, right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
Sometimes, man, I worry about our people, man. You know, a lot of our people deal with a lot of insecurities, man. And we want to go hard for everybody else but ourselves. And us over here on the FBA side, we've been trying to blow the whistle and give warning to our people that's connected to that Democratic plantation. And what went down in Texas is only the first start, right? Because it was going down in California first, but now it's starting to get widespread. A lot of people say, well, these Mexicans and Latinos are racist, and they may well be. But let's put racism to the side for a minute. They have their numbers up. They outnumber you. So why would they acquiesce to you when they understand power now, political and economic power? They bring a lot of that drug money over from overseas. They able to invest in their people, right? Build businesses. Now they have the numbers up to take over things politically. Why would they vote for Jasmine Crockett for what? Right? And we know a lot of times a lot of them still suffer from that crackatosis bug, and they want closeness to the W, man. We know that too. We know that too. So people are upset because Jasmine Crockett lost the race down there for Senate, down there in Texas, to James Talarico. And when it came to the Democratic primary, majority of the Latinos voted for that W man. Are you shocked? And a lot of black people are upset. Their feelings are hurt. Oh my God, I can't believe this. And we just looking as FBAs like, why not? Right? But Latinos was voicing their opinion about her and some of the comments that she made with the cotton picking comments.
No. What do you mean? Jasmine not going to Congress for Texas? Oh, Crockett. A girl can only dream. Listen, Jasmine, what was that one quote that you said? Let me think. Oh, yeah. We done picking cotton. You can't pay us enough to go find a plantation. Yeah, you remember that. I remember that. How could I forget? See, 6.5 million Hispanic voters in Texas, which is like the majority of the electoral vote here in the state. And you mean to tell me that you think that we're still picking cotton? Hell no, girl. Hell no. That's why you lost. Because you're fucking racist. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. If you would have pitched that in 2002, 2001, you probably could have gotten like a good drift. However, that was people in the past. Those kids that I grew up with that were chasing a field every summer, every spring with their parents, moving school to school because they had to go pick fruit with their parents, are now grown up. And guess what? Do you think that they're going to go back to picking fields when they have a citizenship? No. As a matter of fact, they're not even looking to vote for blue people with blue policies that put their parents in fields. Fuck no. Some of them are real estate investors, business owners, they're passing down generational wealth, and you think that they're picking cotton. You out of your goddamn mind. I'm gonna remind you real quick, the majority of the Latino voters for Trump here in Texas live in the southern border. You know what happened in the southern border? No. Why? Because neither you nor Kamala have the balls to go down there. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Along the Texas border, poverty levels are sky high as it is. When you import a bunch of riffraff from third world countries and they end up in those southern border towns, they strain the resources for those people. Those people can't even survive. And then you're bringing in all this riffraff with a CBP1 app, Ticketmaster, to the United States, and you leave them there. That's why our governor had to ship all the people out. And then y'all complain, oh, you were shipping all. Yeah, because you guys brought them here. You blue people brought them here to Texas, and the southern towns were suffering. Not only that, but there was violence across the border in Tamaulipas, in Reynosa, all those cartels fighting to bring all those people over here. Why? Because they were profiting billions of dollars. And your ass still thinks that we're picking cotton? Take that. No Congress for Jasmine. As a matter of fact, why don't you go run for Missouri? What did you do in Missouri that they don't want you to run for them? Oh, I know. Exactly. Because people in Missouri see right through your bones. So do we in Texas. Keeping Texas red.
Giving some of the savings from Doge back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
You are the most selfish ghetto congresswoman we have other than AOC. Both of y'all have millions of dollars and you could care less about your constituents and about the American people.
I'm wearing my Gucci sneakers. The clerks may get too mad if they saw my Jordans.
So ghetto and so greedy. The two G's. That's probably why you like Gucci. Greedy. Ghetto. The sneakers that you are wearing are about $1,000. Belt? About $550. And where was your big mouth in criticizing Joe Biden, the Democrats giving $700 to people that had ashes, the Democrats under Joe Biden that was apparently in the business of funding wars? We're giving billions to illegal immigrants. Since when are American taxpayers supposed to pay for illegal immigrants? And by the way, it seems like every week you have a new wig on or you have a different hairstyle. That can't be cheap. Millions of dollars on your hair, on your wigs, on your fancy Gucci. $5,000 can get people lots of wigs, apparently. This one was $269. And I really hope the Doge team investigates every centavo, every cent, because you and AOC are multimillionaires. How did that happen with $100,000 salary?
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about Jasmine Crockett. Let me again preface this by saying I adored Jasmine Crockett until she made that statement, because that statement is anti-immigration or anti-immigrant. And before we dive into that, let's look at the history of her comment about cotton picking, because 200 years ago, that's exactly what the Black community was doing. And Jasmine Crockett says, no more, never again. And she was a practicing lawyer before getting into Congress, specifically for civil rights. Okay, now let's dive into what she actually said. She frames immigrants as people who do work that not everyone else is doing, work that not everyone wants to do, which is correct. But Latinos and immigrants are so much more than their labor. She's not humanizing them as people. She's calling them people who work for the American people. We're not going to be exploited again. They will be. They will do the work. And I say that as someone who had family who were working in Texas and California as farmers, and they were abused so bad they actually ended up going back to Mexico. But in Jasmine Crockett's eyes, that's okay, because that's what we're here for, and her community isn't doing it anymore. Why couldn't she mention the fact that Latina women are actually going to college at a higher rate than Latino men? Meaning that Latinas will be taking over a lot of corporate jobs, a lot of tech jobs, nonprofit jobs, healthcare jobs. And that's a good thing. And again, she is a lawyer. In law school, they teach you how to use your words wisely, because the wrong phrase, the wrong word could cost your client's case. And Jasmine Crockett has truly just become another AOC, meaning she's loud about things she disagrees with, but when it comes to Congress, nothing is really done or changed. She voted against DHS funding, which fine, but also bare minimum. Same with AOC, same with everyone in Congress. And she did co-sponsor a bill that allowed people to track their family members who were being deported on an airplane. But that's it. She's literally becoming an AOC. She went to the Texas Dilley Center where there were children being held to investigate what was happening. And what did she do after? No bill, no change in Congress, no nothing.
So now let's look at some of her policies, and let's break this down. U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett is a progressive Democrat on civil rights, voting rights, criminal justice reform, and economic equality. Her key policy areas include protecting reproductive health care, strengthening gun control legislation in Texas. You already lost. Universal background checks. Oh, it's a wrap for you. Promoting renewable energy and pursuing comprehensive immigration reform, including the paths to citizenship, right? The citizenships. Civil rights, social justice dedicated to defending the civil liberties for underrepresented communities, protecting LGBTQ rights is a wrap. In Texas, for real, they wasn't with a lot of that, right? The trans stuff and a lot of things that was being promoted in public, in schools and all the kind of stuff that the Democrats was with, right? Texas is not going for it. And a lot of Latinos flip red. They flip red. That wasn't going. So let's look at her policies. U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett is a progressive Democrat focused on civil rights, voting rights, criminal justice reform, and economic equality. Her key policy areas include protecting reproductive health care, strengthening gun control legislation, universal background checks, promoting renewable energy, and pursuing comprehensive immigration reform, including paths to citizenship, right? Now, let's look at this, right? Civil rights and social justice, dedicated to defending civil liberties for underrepresented communities, protecting LGBT communities and rights, and advocating for voting rights. Now, when you get to the LGBT and the trans and all that kind of stuff, a lot of people in Texas, those conservatives down there, Texas is really like a conservative state. They're not rocking with none of that. They're not rocking with that. The stuff that the Democrats are trying to push, gender identity and pushing this stuff in the schools, reading books to kids, people in Texas is not going to vote for that. Immigration focuses on updating immigration systems, strengthening border security, protecting against ICE raids at sensitive locations, and providing pathways to citizenship for dreamers and undocumented Texans. Now, how many of y'all saw videos of Mexicans mad because the U.S. government was giving all kinds of resources to Venezuelans and Guatemalans and these other people? What you guys don't understand is black people, a lot of Latinos and Mexicans on the West Coast don't want these immigrants coming into the country because it's coming in messing them up. It's messing up what they got going on. They want them to do it legal. This is the stuff that's going on, right? Healthcare and reproductive rights. Advocates for reproductive health care, including protective contraception access, and introduce legislation for Minority Health Awareness Month. Listen, man, a lot of them ain't with the abortion. See, people got to pay attention to what's really going on in which states, and these so-called W conservatives and a lot of these Latinos want access to W folk. And they want to be up under these W conservatives. So when you think there's a black and brown coalition, it's not. And we've been telling y'all, they want close proximity to the W folk, right? Gun control. Now this is the kicker. Support stricter gun laws, including universal background checks for firearm sales. That right there got you out of there. You can cancel Christmas in Texas, right? Promotes a transition to renewable energy and green initiatives, particularly for communities of color disproportionately affected by climate change. Economic issues, addressing the wealth gap, housing and healthcare affordability. Mexicans rather have their own people addressing that because they are the majority they are becoming the majority in the state. And why would they want a black person addressing the issues for the majority? Not going to happen. Not going to happen, you dumb Democrats. Ain't going to happen. So, I mean, it gets to a point. It really gets to a point where our people are going to have to wake up. They're going to have to wake up. And like I said, man, this thing gets real goofy. This thing gets real crazy. And people just, I don't know what's wrong with our people, man. I don't know what's wrong with the mindset of our people, but you're going to learn the hard way. Because as these Latinos get their numbers up, it's not just going to be about racism. It's going to be about, why would I vote for a group of people, an ethnic group that's not my people, when I could just vote for my own people? We got greater numbers than them. But a lot of black people are also pointing this out. And listen, it's ugly, man.
Black liberals are coping and seething today over the fact that Latinos did not show up to vote for Jasmine Crockett. Check this out. Black Americans, can y'all now stop saying black and brown, please? The last two elections are clear indicators that black and brown solidarity is a myth. The gag is, black Republicans always knew that this black and brown coalition was a Democrat myth. And what did we get in return? We got called all kinds of slurs just because we were trying to tell y'all that every man is for himself. There's no unity besides the unity you have between you and your family. And the funny part about this is, it's a little too late for y'all to be realizing this. Y'all already voted to replace yourselves. You niggas are cooked. And when this country becomes a Hispanic Latino majority by 2050, it's definitely gonna be no black and brown unity then. You niggas are cooked. Congratulations. You voted yourselves out of existence. The deed is done.
So James Talarico won the Democrat Senate primary race in Texas, but the big question now is, who are the voters that pushed him over the finish line? This graphic right here may actually answer that question. With 92% of the vote in, Democrats turned out overall more voters than the Republicans in the primary. But look at this right here. When it comes to majority Latino communities, for Democrats surging from 7.7% in 2024 to 13.1% in 2026, dipping for Republicans going from 8.2% to 7.3%. So who won the Latino vote on the Democrat side? Both campaigns spent a lot of time, a lot of money trying to win over Latino voters. But when the ballots were counted on Tuesday, many Latino voters sided with Talarico, according to Vox. Yet Jasmine Crockett held a massive lead among Black voters, while Talarico performed strongly with white college-educated voters and also Latino.
Jasmine Crockett loses the Senate race, man. Are you shocked? Because I'm not. It's one of them things where people don't know how to act civilized, no matter how professional they are. They always try to use their upbringing, their urban society culture, their color, their skin. They always try to use that as a reason on why they can act certain ways in professional environments, right? So in her case, you can't go in a House of Congress in front of all these people and call one side the KKK. You can't do that. You get me? You can't go on a debate or a whatever you want to call it, interview, podcast, whatever it may be, and spew out who's going to do these certain jobs, all the low-paying jobs. And then you automatically put the Latinos, they're the ones that are going to be the so-called low-grade workers. I ain't going to use the other word. But point I'm making is, right, certain people get in professional environments and feel like they're automatically entitled to certain things or be entitled to say and do certain things without repercussions. Now, whether they're going to give you the repercussions directly in your position or whether they're just not going to like you and shun you out of your position, that's for them to decide. So one of them things where you can't shit on Caucasians and Latinos and then get mad when they don't vote for you, because they're not going to vote for you. And it showed. You got whooped out. You didn't lose. You got whooped out. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Again, I ain't a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a factualicant. And the fact of the matter is, when you show your ass, they going to be there to pull your pants up. I don't know what the hell that means, but that's just what I came up with. And another thing, right? When we was coming up, certain people, if we got arrested, had to go to court, even we had the common sense to act civilized in certain environments so that people don't look at us certain ways. You get me? I'm out.
So what are you Democrats going to do now? Because you was already warned. You was warned by Joe Biden. Joe Biden told you to your face that he wasn't doing nothing for you, right? He wasn't going to do nothing for you. And by 2035, 2050, this country is going to be majority Latino. He warned you, and you still followed this agenda. The sad part is, with all this stuff being revealed and coming out now in front of your face, a lot of y'all are still going to be on that Democratic plantation. Right or wrong, weak or strong, because you're very insecure people, right? A lot of our people are really messed up in their head, and they can't vision themselves or see themselves outside of their current circumstances. They suffer from the Freddy Krueger effect. A lot of black people, I say this all the time in my videos, man. A lot of our people lost their ability to dream. We can't see ourselves doing anything else but being Democrats, right? And hating the Republicans. But what about forging our own reality? What if our communities is a reflection of that? We are still going along with the three different black communities. Elite blacks that got close proximity to the W folks, right? The underbelly blacks, right? Underclass blacks that's just out there just doing ratchet. And 85% of black folks in the middle. Some woke, some confused, don't know whether they coming or going. This is the community in America, man. At what point do we start thinking for ourselves as a group, like other groups come over and do, and start making moves? These W folks are showing you every day who you are. Now you're going to start having Latinos show you who you are side by side with W folks. What more do you need to see? Dr. Claude Anderson warned us about this 40 years ago. Y'all still didn't listen. They already start taking down elite blacks the last 5 years. Elite blacks been falling from grace. Boom, get them out of here. We making room for the Latinos because they outnumber you. Get these niggas. They know the blacks are no longer the second-class citizens. We got these Latinos coming in. So make all these blacks fall from grace. Now, politically, they start to outnumber you in these black cities, and we in trouble. But the sad part is, when we say FBA, y'all called us divisive. And y'all still calling us divisive. We told y'all was no black and brown coalition. We warned you that there was no black and brown coalition. But you didn't listen. And some of y'all hatred for your own people is so deep-seated, you're going to side with Latinos against foundational black Americans. Your own children, your own cousins, your own family. You're going to side with us. You're not going to side with us. Because you lost your ability to dream or have a vision. So now you're going to be living vicariously through somebody else's vision. The Latinos' visions, the white folks' vision. Everybody else's vision but your own. And then you're going to complain racism. You're going to cry racism. Because you've lost the ability. You suffer from the Freddy Krueger effect. The minute you go into the dream world, Freddy is there to unalive you. So you manifest nothing in the real world, so you're just as good as dead. And this is what we're suffering from in our communities. And the young foundational black Americans is trying to wake our people up, but y'all won't listen to us. But we'll see how this play out. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. And remember, I love y'all. Until next time, peace.